Oh yeah, we're gonna do it one time like this in the midst of Babylon. You know what I'm saying? In the belly of the beast. You know, it's about to rise like yeast in this situation. Enough situation to complicate.
Pyramidwest Productions. We're here with the esteemed Gregory. And Mr. Gregory, it's good to see you, good to be in your presence, brother. I just want to ask you a few pertinent questions and get your take. If I may coin a term, the politics of nutrition, how would you define that term?
Politics of nutrition is determined by the large corporations who own and determine what you want to eat. True. With the chemicals and with the additives in it and the corruptness in it, and that's why people are so sick. You can't put hormones in food and don't think it's going to affect the people. A lot of the violence and the evilness and the meanness come from what's injected in the food. Yes, and so consequently, a lot of people would never let their children drink coffee because of caffeine. True. But one bottle of Mountain Dew has more caffeine in it than 20 cups of coffee. And so they don't have to say this. They don't have to talk about what they're putting in food to preserve it. And so that's why it has a long shelf life. But I'll say this, the next time you go to the store, pick up your food, say you're going to buy some carrots in a can. Look at the word ingredients. There's 27 things in there other than the word carrots, or with 20 of them you can't pronounce.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm 75 years old. When I was growing up, there were no chemicals in food. So they want to know about young folks' behavior and their attitudes and all of that. It's all the hormones and the chemicals that they put in the food.
Yes, sir.
And so some kind of way, the politics of food is bad, is dictated by the food industry.
Yes, sir.
And so once we come together and say, let me tell you, they genetically engineer food. America, they don't have to tell you what food has been genetically engineered. Okay? They're cloning cows and taking that milk from cloning cows and putting it on the market. In America, they don't have to tell you. You think you're just getting some milk. You're getting milk that comes from a cloned cow. You're getting hamburger and steaks that come from a cloned cow. How you telling me I live in a free democratic society and I don't even know what I'm eating?
Yes, sir. In consideration of all the current events on a national and international level, how would you put them in perspective, and what do we stand to lose or gain as a result of it?
You stand to lose, you already lost. The news is manipulated. It's controlled by a handful of people, and they determine what's going to happen. We don't get the truth. I mean, we're over there in Iraq, people's dying every day. We don't really know why we over there.
True. Okay?
And NBC and CBS and ABC, they're not independent. Are you telling me not one news media have talked about how the oil industry is ripping everybody off? They're making trillions of dollars and nobody's saying anything about it because the press is leading people around the wrong way. And every now and then they'll come up and give you a bit of information, but they're not telling us nothing about truth and nothing about a free democratic society functions on a free press. That's why all the independent people, cameras like what you have, that's why they're making headway now, because people are saying enough is enough.
You need alternatives, yes, sir.
Yes.
Is Pan-Africanism as relevant now as it was in the 50s and 60s during the age of African independence, more relevant now or less relevant?
Well, Pan-Africanism never was that relevant here in America. We had a handful of people that understood what Pan-Africanism was about. But if you look at the condition of Africa today, they're not poor because they poor because white colonial went in and raped them blind, and now they can't do it no more, so they're controlled by the CIA, British intelligence, French intelligence. Here's what you do. The next time, every country in Africa that's killing and fighting, they have natural resources underground. The countries in Africa that don't have none, ain't nobody fighting. So the next time you look at the soldiers in Africa, ask where'd them new guns come from? Where'd them boots come from? They're not making them there.
Right.
These are these white heathen nations that's over there picking certain people to control so they can control the natural resources. Africa will probably never be free for about another 100 years when a different mindset have changed. When black folks and white folks around the world will feel the same way about Africans feel as the whole world feel about Europeans dying.
Yes, sir.
And then that will change. It's moved now because it's on the top burner. But some kind of way, when you stop and think about 98% of the teachers in Africa is white. So what's a little black child on an all-black continent looking at this learning that's coming from somebody that don't look like them? And so when you stop and think about the job we have to do, this is why what you're doing is important.
Yes, sir.
NBC and CBS is not going to tell them that the World Bank is ripping them off. It's not going to tell them that them wars that they fight. Now let me just say this.
Okay.
I'm 75 years old.
Yes, sir.
When I was a little boy, they portrayed Africans in movies as savages. I didn't know. I didn't see no Africans. Why wouldn't I believe that? So why would I ever grow up wanting to go to Africa to be with them savages?
Or be associated with Africa.
Nah, they cannot do that. Here's what they're doing now. Two of the most vicious movies that was ever been made was Blood Diamond and The Last King of Scotland. Everybody said, oh, here's what they did. You can't play them off as savages, so they're showing them off as bloodthirsty killing machines. They run through these movies show killing women, children, rape. Now, you ain't never seen a Nazi movie. Out of all the Nazis killed 50 million Russians, you ain't never seen a bloodbath. You have never seen Americans doing wild things during war, but they're gonna show you that. So now, if your child, my grandchild, see that, why would they want to go to Africa? I didn't want to go because they portrayed them as savages. Now they portray them as killers, cold-blooded killers. See, now you got African diplomats at the UN. So black people can turn on TV and see these eloquent Africans say, okay, but now they can't show them as savage, so they show them as killing machines.
Yes, sir.
So this is why we have to watch real close and be very careful. You know, it's like all the black music that come out every year. And in Hollywood, it's not known as Ku Klux Klan. 2 years ago decided the best song was It's Hard Out Here Being a Pimp. Okay? So I got on the radio the next day and I made my song, It's Hard Out Here Being a Pedophile Priest. Especially when the altar boy gonna call the police. You know, and so this is what, and this is why this camp and you are so important. The message, not just black folks, it's white folks starving.
Yes, sir.
And so that's the job you have, and then you see things change.
Hailing from St. Louis, as you do, I do too. I always view St. Louis as being a culturally repressive city. If you agree with that, how did that dynamic attribute to your early development?
Well, first we got to change. It ain't St. Louis, America is a culture oppressive. America. New York, Chicago, the same thing. You stop and think about it. Public housing is not just segregated in Mississippi, all over America. And one thing we got to stop doing is dividing America up like there's a good America and a bad America. America is the most ungodly, unspiritual, racist, segregated, sexist, heathen nation that's ever been put together in the history of the planet. Now, how can we, a Christian, God-fearing country, be 1/6 of the world's population and consume 94% of the world hard drugs? Okay? Every 4 seconds, you and I have sit here and talk. A woman in America has been beat up by her boyfriend or husband. Not a stranger. So when we understand the job that we have to do to change this around, then America will start changing.
Time out for all of the devil's works and all of the little devil doers. Check it out. You best get yourself together, cause God's about to make a change like the weather and give you some real shit to endeavor. Win the lottery, soon as a boy gets some money, he said fuck the